Hello, my name is Ryan Godfrey from Foundation IT. Today I'm going to give you a quick overview on Azure Site Recovery, or ASR for short, as well as show a demonstration of a test failover in action. What does ASR provide? Well, ASR is a simple business continuity disaster recovery solution, allowing you to manage replication of your data or physical servers or virtual machines into a single location into an Azure Portal. You can replicate Azure VMs from a primary region to a secondary region, or your on-premise virtual infrastructure such as Hyper-V or VMware. And along with that, you can keep to your recovery time objectives, RTO, or recovery point objectives, RPO, within your organizational limits. ASR will also provide you with the ability to perform testing without disruption. So you can fail over your VMs into the Azure, into a segregated network without affecting your live production network. You can perform all your testing in that segregated network. And then once complete, you can clean up that operation, remove all the test VMs that it creates, and go back to your normal replication as you were before the test failover. So you can also have flexible failovers too. So you could run, for instance, a planned failover if you had expecting an outage on site. You can fail over a VM, for instance, and then when your on-premise site is back to normal, you can fail your virtual machine back to your on-premise location. So it's fairly flexible in that regards. So let's crack on and fire up our Azure Portal, which we've already configured for our disaster recovery for ourselves. So here's the portal. Bear with me 1 second. Okay, so first things first, we have configured a recovery services vault, which we've named here Fit ASR Vault. Now if we go into there, we can see our virtual infrastructure that we've already configured. So down the left pane here, if you go down to manage, and you can go to Site Recovery Infrastructure. As you can see, you've got options here for Hyper-V, Azure machines, virtual machine Virtual Machine Manager, or VMware and physical servers. Now, us at Foundation IT, we have a VMware on-premise virtual infrastructure. So we've therefore configured a configuration server and replication policies. Okay, so if I just click configuration server here, you can see that that's configured. Is connected to our infrastructure. Just click in again, and you can see that it's hooked in to our virtual on-premise virtual center. So it communicates, and that's how it knows where the virtual machines are. Okay, so just come back once, a couple of steps. And we've also configured in here, we've got a default policy for our VMware physical machines, and a default policy for failback if we need to ever fail back from Azure. Okay. Now, if you wanted to protect a VM, the process is fairly simple. So if we go to replicated items, you've got an option at the top here called replicate. You select that, and then you choose the option which is best suited to you. So we have VMware and physical machines, and you just follow the wizard, drop down the configuration server that you've previously configured, and it auto detects that you've got a VMware virtual center. Okay, I'll just click next here, and it will pick up whatever resource groups that you've configured and the target network. And as I said previously, if you're going to do a test failover, then you want it to be into a segregated network. So we've pre-configured a private network here, so it doesn't affect our live infrastructure. Okay, click next, and there you can see it's found all the virtual machines available on our virtual center. Okay, Now you keep following the wizard. We've previously configured this already, so I'm not going to continue there, but that's how it hooks in, and that's how you replicate a VM. So as you can see here, we've already got 4 virtual machines already configured. Okay, so the next step really, once you've got your replicated items, is you create a recovery plan. So you click here down on the left pane, you drop it down to the recovery plans. And here's one that we've already configured. So I just click customize to show that what we've got. Okay, so a recovery plan, you can fail over individual replicated items. However, if you want to group machines together or need to have a machine boot up in a certain order, or you need to create a recovery plan for different groups of machines, maybe you've got a cluster of SQL servers or database servers and you want to group them together, this is where you go to customize that configuration. So in our example here, we've got two groups, group 1 and group 2. We've got 2 VMs in group 1 and a single VM in group 2. So it will go through the process of booting up the machines in group 1. Once they're up and running, it will then go to group 2 and boot up that machine. Okay. So I'll now perform a test failover and show you how quick and simple this process is without affecting our live environment. So staying in recovery plan, if I click the 3 dots at the end, I'll just come back to our recovery plan here. So click these 3 dots and then click on test failover. Okay, so then it gives you the options here, gives you the latest RTO point, which we'll select, and then if you drop down the networks that we have available, and we'll choose our private bubble network, so it's not going to affect our live environment. And if I click on OK, that will start initiating the process. If you click over here, you can click on that, and it will give you a progress. If I just expand here and here. Okay, and that will start to populate the status and what part of, there you go, it's just populated there. So it's in progress of doing some prerequisite checks. Once it's done those, it will start failing over and building the virtual infrastructure. So it'll start building out the test VMs along with all their resources that they utilize, things like network cards, disks that they use, processors, the actual virtual machine themselves. So all that's just in the background now is starting to build out for us. If we just wait a few moments for that to happen. I forgot to mention it will also check the status of your recovery servers that you've got there that you've protected. So it will check to make sure that the status is healthy. So for instance, it makes sure that the replication is up to date and it is fully functional without any errors. If there's errors, then this process will fail. So it's probably worth checking that first. Just be patient a few more minutes and that hopefully will finish for us. So far so good. First few servers are successful. Okay, so it's done the group 1, so those servers are starting up now as we speak. Okay, there we go. It's all successful, which is good news. So if I just come out of here, oh, there you go, quick status update that's completed successfully. I'll just come out of here quickly and go to our virtual machines. Now I have configured a resource group specifically for our failover machines. So if I filter the view, we can see which machines that have been replicated that are up and running with they'll all have a suffix of test to identify as a test failover. And you can log into these machines and then perform all your functionality testing. So for instance, if it was an SQL server, you could check the validity of the databases, make sure that the data's there, that it's up to date, the latest that you're expecting. We'll just filter it on here. Okay, and there you can see we've got some virtual machines here with the suffix of test. So that means it's basically a failover test of Azure Site Recovery. So I'm happy that they're running, and the failover bit has been successful for those machines. So what you do now is do a remote connection RDP session to those machines, log in, and as I said, just do your functionality testing to make sure all the data is up to date and services are running as you would expect. So that's how quick an Azure Site Recovery process is, depending on how many VMs you've got running, but that was minutes rather than hours, so it's pretty good. So the next step is to perform a cleanup of your infrastructure that you've just built. So you go back to our recovery services vault and then back into our recovery plan, and you can see here it's got a current job cleanup test failover pending. So if we go over to the three dots at the end here and then you click on cleanup test failover, it's that simple. Okay. Now, important to tick this box here because you want to delete all the VMs that it's created, otherwise you'll get charged for those resources in Azure. So tick the box and make sure it'll delete all of those test failover machines, and then click on OK. Again, here's a quick status. We'll click that and just expand these here just to keep an eye on the status to make sure the process works. So in the background, it's doing a validity check again, and it will start removing all the VM resources, such as the virtual network cards that it's created, the associated disks, processor, the virtual machine itself. It's fairly quick. I mean, it should be the same sort of time as when it builds the machines. You just wait a few minutes for that process to happen. Would be nice if they have a progress bar or something here, but yeah, it's not, unfortunately. Hopefully that's something they'll put in the future. Okay, great. So click here, it says it's complete. There you go, it's completed, all successful. So if I go back to our virtual machines, filter back down to the same resource group as before, and you can see that all the test machines are done, all gone. So that they've been removed, wiped out, so you're not going to get charged for those resources anymore. Okay, and that's pretty much it. So, I hope you've enjoyed the demonstration, have an understanding of how ASR works and how it could be useful for your business plans or disaster recovery plans. If you'd like to implement an ASR solution for your own environment, please get in contact and we'll be happy to discuss further on how we can help you. Thank you for listening.